good evening to all the participants for this very interesting webinar that we have on behalf of GIBS Business School, Bangalore. And today, as I see on screen, we have more than 100 participants and more joining. It's going to be an interesting 1 hour that we are offering you in terms of knowledge, which will be shared by our speaker for today, Mr. Girinarayan. To say a few words about Mr. Girinarayan, he is a thorough professional in HR field and organization development, currently an OD consultant, but he has got a very rich experience in leadership positions in top corporates. I'll name a few as I go along, giving his background. Basically, a commerce graduate, he went on to complete his law and then completed his public administration post-graduation from the University of Madras, the prestigious university. And later on, he completed his industrial relations and personnel management, that's HR, and also completed his PG diploma in public relations. And in his more than 3 decades of professional experience in corporates, he worked at top companies like Siemens, Mercedes-Benz, Tata Group, GE India, FedEx Corporation. So with such varied corporate experiences in top companies, later on he took to consultancy, and then currently he's a senior partner with Your HR Buddy, a human capital management consulting and training organization. He's also a director and HR mentor with the Corporate Cognition India, a leading business consulting firm. He also doubles up as a member of Board of Studies for Industrial Council and a member of NITI School of Management and a member of HR Syllabus Committee of Bangalore Central University. Apart from that, to name a few of his professional participations in forums, he's a past chairman of NIPM, National Institute of Personal Management, Karnataka chapter, and National Council member of NIPM. He's a past secretary of HR Association, Exclusive Forum for Knowledge Industries, past advisor of IT, BT, and Women Entrepreneurs Committee of FKCCI, formerly the member of Board of Studies at Christ University, and past HR panel member of CII, chairman and organizing committee of National Institute of Personal Management and National Conference for Students, chairman and program of the program committee of NIPM's National Conference of 2019, and currently he is a co-chairman of HR Tech Committee of NIPM. Well, if you keep reading his profile, I think it's endless, and some of his great achievements in his illustrious career till now have been the prestigious National Award of Fellow of NIPM for a significant contribution to the HR profession and discipline. Award for Professional Excellence by Indian Society for Training and Development for outstanding contribution in the field of human resources, and an award for the best member by the NIPM for contribution and services to HR professional. He also got the award for the organizational effectiveness at GE when he was there in his stint. And he also received the most influential HR leaders in India award from the World HRD Congress. With this, there are many achievements that he has in his illustrious career. It is not proper that I can complete all his achievements and his career highlights. But with such a resource that we have in front of you today for this webinar, and the topic that we wanted him to throw light on is what HR expects from future managers. Most of the participants, when I can see more than 130 as of now, today, Mr. Girinarayan, are people from management education domain, students who will be completing their business management. There could be also some faculties and young professionals who have taken off in their career. So you have a selection of young Indian executives, managers, and future managers. So they're waiting to hear from you what HR expects from future managers. Over to you, sir, Dr. Girinarayan.
Good evening. First of all, thank you so much, Mr. Hari Prakash, for that wonderful introduction. My special thanks to Professor Lakshmi. I'm sure she must also be part of this,
Yes.
audience who coordinated with me for putting this together. In fact, this topic did not just let it come. We had several deliberation before we came into this. Interestingly, this topic is slightly different. And before I start, Mr. Adi Prakash, I think if I understand, I have about 45 minutes to 55 minutes of deliberation followed by question and answer. Is that understanding right?
Perfectly fine, sir. 5 minutes here, there, no, absolutely no problem.
Okay, right. No, definitely. I also will not take much longer time because I would be happy to take more and more questions rather than making it more of a monologue. But since this is a webinar, I would like to complete my part of the lecture, followed by the questions. So once again, thanks Gibbs for this wonderful opportunity, particularly both Mr. Hari Prakash and also Professor Lakshmi. Interestingly, if you really look at the topic is slightly different when compared to the normal topic of HR. Normally, what happens is when I attend seminars and conferences, the topic is always given: what is that business expects out of HR? But in this case, it is actually totally reverse. So, what is that HR expects from future managers? I think it is a very, very important, and I think you have chosen this particular topic at the right time because unfortunately, the whole world is shaken by the pandemic of coronavirus. Uh, and which is really impacting the economy, impacting the society, impacting the business, and impacting the health. It is impacting so much, and at the same time, the business revival is very, very important for everybody. And obviously, it's all about people. Let me put it that way. It's all about people, and HR need to be in the forefront. And they have to actually facilitate the entire process of bringing people together in this kind of a situation. So that is where HR has got a lot of expectation from future managers or future leaders and so on. So what I'm going to do is my focus predominantly is going to be, I'm going to be taking pandemic as the core activity because post pandemic, I mean, the pandemic is still not over. The pandemic has actually given a new impetus, a new normal of the way in which the business need to work. So obviously, what happens is the way in which business was operating before the pandemic and the way in which business started re-looking at themselves is now different. So that is where I'm going to start with my presentation. I hope all the participants are able to see my presentation. So let me start this way. Let me start with the unprecedented global crisis because of the COVID 19. This is actually, as I said earlier, it has created a huge impact on economy, business, health, and the society as a whole. And obviously, companies are required to reset their business plans because whatever plan they had before COVID and then during the COVID and of course the future, they need to reset the plan. Unfortunately, even the business world is also subject to self quarantine and social distancing because it's more working together, but at the same time you need to work together. People are working remotely and work from home and all that kind of a big challenge. I was even given to understand people say that work from home is becoming much more stressful and so on. Other important aspect, friends, you must understand the skilling of employees become very, very important. Earlier were the days where, when you're in the organization, the skills development was much easier. The organization was able to send you for training program and so on. But unfortunately, with the COVID happening, upgrading the skills of individual is becoming a big challenge. Incidentally, about a year back, a survey was done. Unfortunately, country like India, I think I understand we rank more than 100. So we are not even in top 100 when it comes to skilling. And this is the role of HR. And if HR has to upgrade the skills, let me tell you, they have got a lot of expectations from the managers to make sure that the manager upgrade the skills of their team members who are working them. So having said that, impact of COVID-19 has been very, very big challenge. Things have changed in a very, very differently. As I said earlier, revival is the key focus for every business. Now, do more for less. In fact, a couple of my friends, when I interact with them, they say that, pre-COVID days, they used to work for about 10 hours. And today, it's almost becoming like 24 by 7. People are working 12 hours, 14 hours, 16 hours because they're all working from home, working remotely. And the biggest challenge is achieving the bottom line. Profitability has been very big challenge. As you are aware, 2021 was a bad year for the entire economy, including a country like India, which ran into negative GDP growth. And because India ran into negative GDP growth, obviously even the business, many businesses have run into a negative growth. Now, if they have to convert business into positive growth, obviously the way in which the managers have to work is going to be totally different. So the other big challenge which every company is facing is now customer retention, hunt for new customers, and so on. So that's where I said, if you look at my last line, it says, "Don't sleep, be available at all times because you're now working remote." So impact is really creating a big challenge. And above all, as I said, the company wants talented employees. Without talent, it's going to become much challenge. And unfortunately, now most of the managers are working remotely. How do they scout for a good talent? So having said this, let me also give you how the future of business is going to look like because of the pandemic issues. The future of business is going to be definitely different. Uh, Technology is going to, I mean, from instead of having nice to have technology, you will have to use technology as your major transformational driver. Technology is going to help you in a very big way in getting more and more business. Focus on innovation and automation is very, very important. How do you do things differently and thereby adding value to customer? Organization structure are getting re-looked into it. No more hierarchical structure that is going may happen in future. It's all going to be because people are going to work remotely. People are going to be working individually. People are going to be directly interacting with customer. The concept of self-managed team is going to be coming into force in a big way, and so on. So future, the way in which the business is going to be operating in future is going to be very, and at the end of the day, remember, if business has to become good, it has to get profitability. And the profitability is all about, gaining customers' confidence. And that is where one of the biggest role of manager, how do one of, I mean, this is an expectation from HR. How does a manager convert an employee experience into customer experience? So that is what is going to be the future of business is going to be, because remember friends, in future, every employee would be actually interacting with customer, unlike the pre-COVID days. There will be, in fact, most of the time you will find the frontline employees are the one who are going to be interacting with the customers, and they need to be empowered, and they need to be coached, they need to be trained, they need to be mentored as to how they can deal with the customer. So that is where how one of the role of manager is to be, how does a manager convert an employee experience into a customer experience? And this is going to be one of the major expectation of HR. And this is where HR need to coach managers as to how they can make this happen. So, and remember, friends, we don't know while the entire world is combating with COVID-19. I don't know whether the next crisis is going to come. In fact, incidentally, during my 3 decades of professional corporate working, I have seen slowdown of more than 3 or 4 times. Now, unfortunately, a pandemic like COVID-19, nobody even expected. Now we don't know. So should companies start gearing up for right now for the next crisis, which we don't even know? So that's going to be the future of business. The big trend in work environment, I think all of you are aware, companies are going to be using artificial intelligence, automation, the smart cities, smart homes. I mean, these are all just for academic purpose. I'm giving you, these are all technology, but remember friends, technology is only an enabler. It's all about people. Remember, you may see, TCS, you might see a company like TCS, Cognizant, Infosys, Wipro, Tech Mahindra. All of them are technology company, but look at the number of employees they have. All these companies have got more than lakhs of employees. So it's all about people. Technology is only an enabler, and obviously, the trend in work environment has changed because of the industry 4.0. I just for the purpose of academic purpose, and especially for the future manager, because future manager, if they think that technology is the one which is going to help them, well, yes, this is going to help you in a big way, but without people, you cannot become successful. And that is what I'm going to be talking as we move forward. And of course, the future of work. And this is a study by LinkedIn. Look at on the right side, the focus is going to be more and more on soft skills, creativity, persuasive skills, collaborative skill, adaptability, time management. So that means the expectation of managers from HR is to focus more and more on people management and not the technical skills. So that is one of the expectation of HR, because it's going to be very difficult for HR to focus everything. Every manager will have to wear a cap of an HR manager. And how do they get best out of how does a manager get best out of an employee? How to make sure that their employee work creatively? How do they collaborate and work? How does employees are managing this change? Friends, remember, I worked in some other companies which Mr. Hari Prakash talked about it. And these companies are spread. I mean, when I worked in this company as a HR leader, these companies are spread all over the world. And some of my employees were spread not only across India, they were even placed all over the country, be it China, be it Europe, be it US, Canada, whichever country you talk about. I had my team members working there. I mean, I cannot, I won't even interacting with them on a day-to-day basis. So this is where the future of work is going to be more and more about people. How do you get best out of the people? That's what the LinkedIn survey talks about it. And the workplace of future, friends, it's going to be hybrid workplace, because many organization now, actually pandemic has actually on one hand, though we talk about creating challenges, but let me tell you, pandemic has actually also created a lot of opportunities. Many companies are now re-looking at their infrastructure. They are looking at their infrastructure in a different way. Many companies have said that, look, why should I need such a huge infrastructure when when my team members can work from a remote place? So people are looking at more and more smaller offices. Gig workforce is going to be one of the most important, and gig workforce is all about people coming and working you for a particular assignment, particular project. They will just come and do your work and go. So that's going to be the order of the day. many companies have started utilizing the gig workforce concept. And incidentally, that is where, thanks to the government of India, the new labor code is also going to now focus on they're going to define what is gig workforce and so on. Focus on performance appraisal to development. Those were the days you were appraising a person after completion of 1 year. Now it's going to be give them the feedback then and there. Hey, have I done good? Have I done bad? Whatever it is. Expanding diversity. Friends, I'm not only talking about gender diversity, it can be anywhere because of remote working. Now, for example, I may be sitting in Bangalore, but if I've got a guy who's sitting in the Middle East, or let's say even in a place like Malaysia, Singapore, if this guy can do my job, then why should I worry about it? So diversity is not only for gender, it can be with, geography, it can be countries, it can be religion, it can be anything. New diversity things are going to come. And remember, some of the companies are even recruiting transgenders. Please understand that. And of course, the focus is also going to become more and more of employee well-being. This is another expectation of HR from the manager. How does a manager focus on the well-being of an employee? Because unless unless the manager focuses on the well-being of an employee, it's going to become very, very difficult. Companies have now started focusing health as one of their very, very important element. Because when those days when we were working on, though health was given some kind of a priority, let me tell you, it was not given as a top priority. But with the pandemic happening, many companies have actually started focusing more and more on the pandemic. More and more well-being of an employee. In the next 20 years, it's a survey done by Society for HRM. They said more than 500 million people are going to be working virtual. And imagine managers need to handle them. So when HR, and that is where HR's expectation of manager, HR can only facilitate the entire process, but it is the managers who are going to handle these people. And today you will find people not going to be working with you. They're all going to be working remotely. And the study says that more than 500 million. And imagine you're going to be handling different set of people. The culture is going to be different. It's not going to be the same culture. It's not that you're going to be working only in Bangalore. You're going to be having people all over the world. People come with a different education background. So that is where I think global mobility is going to be order of the day. And that is why, pandemic is also creating a lot of opportunities. So having said this, what business expect from managers? So friends, what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you what business expect from managers. Then I will also tell you what HR expects from manager, because that's going to be our ultimate focus on this particular webinar. So what does business expect from the manager? Friends, this is the survey conducted by PwC about a year back or so. Look at this survey was conducted across the globe. And if you really look at it, there are two particular things. One is the black, you will find the red colored and the black colored. And what does it indicate? The first thing which the companies are talking about is, the CEOs. This is a survey conducted by for the CEOs. Look at 77% of the global CEOs. They say that they don't have a right talent at all, leadership skills. Imagine an average more than 400,000 professional pass out from country like India. And today we are saying that, the survey indicates saying that more than 77% of the global leaders, global CEOs say that they are concerned about the availability of key skills. And look at 87% of the Indian CEOs say that the same issues. And on the right side, if you look at it, what are those skills? Those skills are problem solving, adaptability, and leadership, and creativity and innovation. And look at this, these are all people related skills. And this is where you, as a manager, how do you make sure that your team members solve the problems of customers, companies, whatever it is? How do they adapt to the change which is going to happen in a continuous way? How do they provide leadership? Today leadership is going to be from everybody. It is not that only from the top guys. It's going to be from everybody. How do you come out with creativity and innovation? Because today the competition is so tough. Every time you will have to come out with a new way of doing your business. And HR can only facilitate the process, but you as a manager will have to relook into this. Prior to pandemic, the manager was focusing more and more on on making the product, selling the product. You know, it was more on technical skills. But managers will have to wear a different cap, and this is what HR expects, because since HR is handling people, and manager comes as a conduit between people and HR, and this is the expectation of HR. How does HR support managers so that managers can make sure all these skills are the manager, I mean the employees are ready with these kind of skills? And obviously, friends, the role of HR is also changing. This is a survey happened by one of the leading HR forum in the country, National HRD Network. Incidentally, I was also part of this particular survey. I also participated in this particular survey. How HR role is going to be in the next few years, maybe in the next one decade. And this is the survey conducted maybe about 6 months back or so. And look at the role of HR. HR is going to be focusing different role. It's like, ethical and compliance role, cultural champion, head of the social impact relation, analytics, which is going to become most important. HR role is one of the HR role is going to be data scientist, head of people performance acceleration. Remember, if they have to get best out of the people, this is one of the expectation of HR from the manager. How do they get best out of people? Chief well-being officer. Though HR is chief well-being officer, the managers are the one who have to actually support HR to make sure that the well-being of the employees. And I think we discussed about this also. How do you convert an employee experience into customers experience? So there is a shift in role of HR, which has already started happening, and it's going to be happening because in my consulting role, some of the big companies where I do see this kind of shift, which is already taking place. I'm talking about after pandemic, friends. I'm not talking about before pandemic. I've been consulting some of the companies, some of the big companies where I see this kind of a shift which is being happening now. And obviously skill shift for manager is already happening. Look at the time which a manager will have to spend now in future. It's again a survey which was conducted, and look at it. I've actually underlined with the blue and red. Red means the manual and physical skills have come down. This was done by the managers earlier, but now the focus is going to be more and more on cognitive skills, emotional skills. Technological skill is very important, but that's only an enabler. Yes, technology is also HR expect managers to equip themselves. But at the same time, if you look at it, it's these two areas: higher cognitive skills and social emotional skills. And this is going to happen. And friends, it's all about people. So HR expectation of manager is all about people. Look at this particular slide. In fact, this happened. The expectation of HR even happened before pandemic, but unfortunately, nobody. The role of HR has been perceived totally different. In fact, I still remember even in 2003, 2000, when we were doing engagement survey. And let me tell you, friends, one of the things which revealed even those days, people don't leave company, but people leave their managers. Marcus Buckingham, who wrote a book called First Break All Rules, he said that people don't leave their companies, but people leave their manager. And this is what HR expect from manager. How they manager? See, HR can only coach, HR can only mentor, HR can only facilitate the process. But ultimately, you are the manager. You are the one who are going to be actually making sure that you get best out of the people, and people are committed to the organization. So what HR expects from future manager? In a world where humanness takes a top priority, the focus should be on human centric. Friends, if you want to become, if you want to get best out of people, it's all about human centric. You need to understand people. It's all about people. How do I understand people? How do you become a good human being? And the second one, which I've already talked about, how do you effectively engage employees so that you can convert an employee's experience into a customer's experience? You know, pandemic has created a lot of problem, and I'm really glad many companies have taken a lot of initiative, especially when it comes to the well-being of the employees. And I can quote number of examples of these such companies who have not only taken care of employees but also have taken care of their family members during during this particular crisis time. And incidentally, just about a couple of months, I was a jury in NHRD, and it so happened a lot of company participated in this particular competition, and I was a jury of such companies which were actually how they were addressing employees well-being during this pandemic time. And that is where I mean, I could see a lot of companies have done a lot of good things. And of course, global competition is going to becoming more and more, because today it is not that you are restricting yourself only to a particular geography. The talent is available all over the world. So your competition is going to be become global. Even for a local companies, the competition is going to be a global law. And as I said, as a manager, you need to handle all kind of all kind of people. It can be fixed employees, it can be fixed term employees, can be permanent employees, can be contract workforce, it can be a gig workforce. You're going to be handle different set of people. It is not that only just getting the work done. All these while you are only doing what the company wanted to do. But now the focus is changing. The focus is all about how you're going to do your work. And if you're going to talk about that, it's all about managing people. And that is where it's all about your leadership in terms of people. What HR needs is exceptional managers. And remember, managers who can actually demonstrate exceptional ability and transferable high competence. That means if you have become successful, how do you transfer your success to your team members? And that is what HR expects out of you. And remember, the role of HR is changing. The role of HR is more and more of coaching. HR is now becoming, a champion of developing the organization through people. How do they bring best practices in the peer, when it comes to people? So that is where managers who can create a high impact to deal with complexity, uncertainty, ambiguity, because that is what is going to happen. Thanks to COVID, it has opened the doors in a different way because this uncertainty, complexity, ambiguity is going to be your future. And HR is definitely going to help because HR, remember, HR is ultimately the owner of people management, and HR will obviously will support you. HR will help you. Now, remember, friends, in my consulting work, I talk about organization development. What is organization development is all about? OD is all about bringing a change in a planned way by using behavioral sciences. It's all about behavior. That means you HR will help you, saying that how the help you to understand how the attitude of the people is going to be in future, and how you can leverage that for bringing the change. That's why, for example, I used one particular slide. Are you prepared for the next challenge which we don't even know? But on the other hand, if you start getting yourself by looking at things in a different way, saying that, hey, look, how do I manage my future crisis? How do I bring change? Because ultimately, remember, friends, when this change happened, and especially the pandemic happened, I don't know how many of you are aware, officially there is a statistics which says about 18.7 million.
Successful HR person should have in these times.
I think I've already put this skills. But having said that, I always tell people these four skills are very important for HR when they want to become a business. When they want, if they want to become a business partner or they want to become business success. What are these four skills? One is management. I think I've spoken about this very well. The second one is HR need to understand the financial skills of the financial skills. HR need to know. I have definitely financial skills. Let me tell you, friends. Some of the organization when I where I worked, when I put a budget, my budget has to actually add value to the overall financials of the company. So you need to understand balance sheet. You need to understand where does the money come from, where does the money go. Goes. And you need to understand what is gross profit. How does company distribute money? Because remember, your budget is going to be more than 60%. So you need to have this financial acumen. So first I talked about the people acumen. Second is the financial acumen. The third is the customer acumen. Customer, very important. Unfortunately, many HR, though they know the customer, I have not heard many HR guys going and meeting the customer. Friends, you won't believe it. On many occasions during my corporate life, I have met a lot of customers. In fact, whenever we meet the new customer, HR is always part of the business presentation, and HR makes a special presentation to the customer as to why this company becomes successful because of people. And whenever I travel, especially company like GE, Terex, and Siemens, and all that, one of the things when I travel across the country or even across the globe, one particular day I actually reserve for meeting the customers. So I tell the sales guys, hey, look, I want to meet the customer. Just like that, we make it as, we don't make it as, obviously, it's a kind of an informal meeting. On many occasions, I've had actually a dinner with customer. I've actually even had a dinner with the customer company's CEO, basically to understand what is going on in their mind. Remember, that is the thing. That's the third one. So we talked about people, we talked about finance, we talked about the customer, and finally the process. HR has to be a process oriented, and this is where my previous question, somebody asked technology. You need to leverage technology for successful process. Invariably, I get on many occasions I've heard people saying that HR does not respond at all. Some of the organization where I worked, I ensured that HR has to respond within one working day. It can be solution, it can be whatever it is, but the moment they get a communication, somebody asks, is communication important? The moment communication is reaches, the moment communication, whatsoever tool you use, HR need to respond to this communication within one working day, saying that yes, I have received your message, I acknowledge, and this is what my response is. So that is where HR need to be process orientation and so on. When you talk about process, there are several things on. Because some of the companies where I worked, right from your performance management system, your talent system, everything has to be automated.
Automatic.
Automation is very, very important. I'm not getting into details of that, how automation is going to be working. That's going to be another full session when you talk about automation. Thanks to my some of the global companies I worked, I never worked with paper at all. It is all about technology and technology and technology. So it's all process orientation.
Yeah,
So
and
that is
also
where
the technology gets the speed in the entire process and response.
absolutely,
That's
absolutely.
so. There's one
So
related question because you touched upon in your answer about communication and quick response. Sanjay Reddy
yeah,
is asking how should employees manage if no proper communication or coordination is there between HR and the reporting manager or the functional manager.
when I teach communication, of course I can't do this because my time is almost getting over,
Yeah,
and of
yeah.
course I'm not physically there. I do an exercise on communication. It's a very, very funny exercise. People enjoy that particular exercise, but I'm not getting into the detail of exercise. At the end of the day, I tell people communication is not telling. Communication is all about asking. If you don't understand HR, if HR does not inform you, who stops you from asking them?
Yeah.
Ask.
Yes,
Say
yes,
that
ask.
shamelessly. You say that you don't know. Please tell me. Ask. The more you ask, I tell people, don't ask me question, but ask me the most difficult questions. This is what I tell in every meeting during my corporate days. I've handled so many meetings for thousands and thousands of people. I say people, in fact, in some of the organization, our methodology is totally different. We don't make presentation. We start with questions. We tell them, for us communication is not information from our side. For us it is all about what is going on your mind. So ask questions. And today, please leverage technology to ask questions, ask valid questions.
Yeah, great. Sir, I think we have exceeded the time. Maybe I'll take one more or two more questions. Let's see.
Yeah, sure. One or two more questions and
Yeah,
we'll
yeah.
close it.
Yeah, there's a question from Nitya. What is the scope of human resource management in business schools and is it worth doing? Is it a function of future?
Oh my God, she has to connect with me
And
separately.
she's
Let me tell
asking
you.
you.
I'll tell you, it's a wonderful profession to be. By the way, I'm in this profession for nearly more than 3 decades. I still continue to be a passionate HR professional. Unfortunately, people don't view HR in a different way. Let me tell you, HR has got lot many things to offer. And let me tell you, the last 5 years in my OD consultancy, it's all about people come to me because it's all about HR. So HR is a wonderful profession to be in, but of course you need to have that kind of a passion. But if you want to know more about this, you can always connect me offline. I would be happy to share what is that, how HR can be given. Many of my friends have actually when I say friends, my students have gone to HR. I also made a mention a couple of months when I was reading an article. The future is going to be, the future CEOs are going to be from HR. So remember, my role is now actually working with CEOs, and I'm actually coaching the CEOs. Recently, I did an assignment for one of the $4 billion company with one of my partners. And what did we do ultimately? Ultimately, when we did the this initiative, we had to meet the chairman and CEO. So we were actually a coach for them. We were telling them what exactly. We told them if they want to become successful, if they want to make this particular business successful, they came to us. HR, please remember. But company is not willing to invest money on this kind of a company. But let me tell you, future is going to happen that way, because company wants to become successful, and without people, company cannot become successful. And HR is the one who's going to handle people, and it's all about people. So I would say that HR is going to be one of the best profession to be in.
Great, sir. Sir, one last question, and before that, there are so many what you call mails and messages. I'm requesting you to share
I've
your
given my
PPT.
mail also.
Mail and PPT. Maybe if it's okay with you, you can share with Lakshmi Madam, and we'll
Yeah,
try to send it.
PPT, there are some company specific messages that, so I may have to, because I've told them that I won't be sharing it publicly, but then only when I want to do that. So let me see what best I can do, but definitely there's nothing wrong in sharing the PPT. It's okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
after editing, maybe if you can send, we'll try,
Yeah.
we'll respond to the participants who wanted it. And one last question, I think from Supriya and another person I have seen is which for a HR best experience in HR, which is the right start? A stint in an MNC, global MNC, or a startup, which gives you the best experience?
I will not, because I know I also during my consultancy I also worked with startup, because startup, what happens is the focus is going predominantly on business.
Business.
Everybody does any kind of a job, and by the time the maturity of startup happens, it takes time. So the focus of HR becomes more on recruiting and training and those kind of things. So the organization development does not come, because the first couple of years the focus will be more and more on business. So I'm not very sure to what extent an HR, for example, people like me, will I be able to add value? But now I can add value because I'll be an advisor and I'll be a coach. But imagine I join as an employee there, because my focus will become more and more on recruiting, hiring, firing, and day-to-day activities, compliance, and etc. So the focus will go on operational role. That's one way of gaining experience. But the role of HR is going to be, how do you develop the organization? So startup, it will take a little longer time. But having said that, you can work with some of the mid-sized companies. Now, let me tell you, friends, again, in the last 5 years, I had the opportunity of working with some of the mid-sized companies who are run by family entrepreneurs and proprietors, family-run business. The way in which they worked was totally different. They worked like they worked totally a different kind of a thing. It was all a single owner who was taking all kind of a decision. Now these companies, and remember, these companies are already into one company was more than 200 crores, other company was more than 500 crores, the third company was almost nearing 2000 crores. So all these companies, when I worked with them, now they are looking at, because their HR person, he doesn't even know what is HR. It's more of an administration. They don't even know what is HR is all about. So if you get an opportunity, you have, I would say that, you can turn around, and the kind of learning what you're going to get is phenomenal. Now, actually, I'm, part of a startup, but of course, we are still in the discussion stage. But this particular, they have a startup as well as the existing business. And unfortunately, pandemic has created a lot of problem for the existing business. Now they want to, and this, by the way, this company is more than 500 crores company, but unfortunately, because of the pandemic, yeah, at least the owner says that the business has come down to almost 50 or 60% and those kind of things. So that means he says, I'm getting into a problem. So he doesn't know. At the same time, the owner is such a nice guy. He doesn't want to fire anybody, and he wants to know, how do I structure. So that means suddenly a wake-up call has come. He wants to revisit HR. I've done a lot of such work with some of the companies. That's why I say, no, if you get an opportunity in those kind of companies, if you go and join a big companies, yes, a lot of good exposure. But then what happens is, you already have a lot of senior leaders who are there. I'm not very sure those guys will give you to do this kind of a job. So that's why I look for a job which is a mid-sized companies where which is already kind of an established. At the same time, they don't have any HR practices, and that is where you become the
you can make the difference.
the leader there. And of course, if you are in trouble, always think of me. I'm there. Don't worry.
Thank you so much, Mr. Girinarayan. I think all the participants had a what you call wonderful 1 hour plus session of yours. A lot of knowledge, a lot of what you call education in terms of the function of HR, expectations, and how people have to actually look at HR. And I think most of the participants are young business management students and young professionals, and we can make out from their questions, and hopefully they are all satisfied with the response that you have given, and they have gone back enriched with much more clarity for their career. And once again, on from the management of GIBS Business School, it's a pleasure to host such knowledgeable, what you call resources that we have in India to address our participants. And Gibbs actually does this leadership series and webinars, and we have taken advantage of this COVID and reached out to so many people through these webinars. And it's a matter of pride that we are hosting such great eminent personalities and resources. And thank you so much, Mr. Girnarayan, for sparing your time. And thank you so much, all the participants, for joining so enthusiastically, and then for your very interesting questions, which I hope are very well answered. Thank you so much, and wait for your e-certificates that will come within 3 working days on your mail IDs. We'll also try to get a bridge PPT of the presenter of today, and look forward for our communications for the next interesting leadership talk series that we always bring to you. Thank you so much, and good evening.